Hey guys, welcome back to the True North podcast. My name is James McKenzie, and we're continuing our series where we're bringing on our board members to introduce them to you guys. This week we've got Brandon Bull, who is an incredible leader. He just finished serving at our November 6th base camp as the admin director. This guy's a ton of fun. He's one of our newest board members, and he brings so much value and such a servant's heart to our board. And so we look forward to having you guys join us in this conversation. Let's start it right now. What do we need to know about Brandon Bull right now? What's your family like? What's your work life like? All that fun stuff.
Well, family, I've got a daughter who's 16, a son who's almost 13. And I say almost 13 because he's a long ways away from 12. Like he's got more hair on his legs than I do, and he's smash mouth football, and like he's growing up.
Yeah.
Then I got a wife. We've been married since 2004.
Yeah.
So we're very much in that season of that teenager season, and daughter's a junior, going to be a senior. She's starting to learn a skill set, going to Francis Tuttle, and my son is very much coming alive and looking forward to his freedom. My daughter's had her freedom for a while and is kind of realizing, okay, life's about to happen to me. So it's interesting to watch those two enter those different seasons of life. And then my wife and I are starting to have the conversations about daughter will be gone in a year, and we got about 4.5 years left with our son. And then what does that look like?
Yeah. So
that's
time to start adopting and fostering, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not hearing that right now. That would be interesting. There's definitely a need for that. And so we've started dating again.
Awesome.
We're terrible at that for a long time, so we've been a lot more intentional about that.
What's that look like for y'all? Do you do it like every week or every other week, or?
Well, so we started simple with once a month.
Okay.
So, and we go somewhere proper. Like it's a nice place, family style, very intimate. And so we go and have great conversation there. Sometimes we'll be there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we do that because we struggle to go to church at the same time every weekend too, just based off the schedules. And on the weekends, or on the weekdays, we plan out our meals for the week, and then Tuesday gets blown up.
Yeah.
Thursday gets blown up. The kids thankfully they're going to church on Wednesday evenings, and they tell us, hey, we're going to FCA after, don't worry about dinner. And, it's for us we just haven't figured out how to be consistent dating and during the weekday on a regular basis. And that's really just a lack of effort. But she also started back teaching math.
Okay.
And she is called by God to be a math teacher. She's a math nerd.
Yeah.
A proper nerd. She'll do math problems for fun. And she has a degree in mathematics and a degree in education.
Yeah.
So I was pitching her to go to work at NASA or something when we graduated. It's like, hey, how about you go make whatever you can do there, or Boeing or whatever. And she's like, no, I want to teach. I was like, okay. So you want to go into the ministry, Okay, that's cool. Let's just acknowledge what it is.
Yeah.
And so she was a stay-at-home mom for, after her daughter was born. I was overseas for about a year. And when I came back, my daughter was almost 2. And then that's when my wife didn't work. And that was a great decision. Her being a stay-at-home mom, man, our house was in check.
Yeah.
Like life, that's the, just women are designed so much better to be effective at that.
Yeah. How long did she stay at home?
Well, she just went back to work last year. So that would have been 2010 to 2024.
Wow.
So 14 years.
Yeah. Has she enjoyed going back?
She loves it.
That's awesome.
We talk about teaching every day in every conversation, something education related.
Yeah.
And God has allowed me some patience to sit and listen, and because I know she's really excited about it. But at some point I don't come home and talk about concrete every day. Yeah. And so we're working through that. But she's making a big impact with kids. You can see it. Yeah. A lot of feedback. My daughter, again, she goes to school where my wife teaches, and the things that my daughter hears are really encouraging
That's awesome.
to my wife for her to really lean in. But she will every day she'll get home and we'll do something dinner related or whatever, and she will work on lesson plans till 9:30 at night
Wow.
every day. Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
she's planning lessons. So these teachers, these good ones,
Yeah.
they put in the hours.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of work, and so I'm really glad to know that it is a ministry. I mean, she is impacting kids. It's really cool
Yeah.
to hear stories about from parents and kids about they've never understood it until now.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to leave a legacy, and she'll be one of those teachers that kids talk about when they're 30 years old or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm happy for her.
So back to the dating idea, what fruit have you seen come from being more intentional about that and making sure that that's happening?
Well, one, that we look forward to it
Mm-hmm.
and we enjoy it. And um, it's opened up our communication a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
My family, on my side of the fence, we have a track record of zero communication. I
Yeah.
mean, zero. My dad and my uncles, they literally said this, if somebody wants you to know something, they will tell you.
Yeah.
And so I brought that baggage, if you will, into my marriage. And
Yeah.
so, and my wife, her family,
Yeah.
she talked to her mom twice a day for an hour and a half. And then on her way home from work, her sister would call her, and her family knows exactly, what underwear I wore that day. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what they talk about. And sometimes I'll listen to the conversations. And I'm like, my God, you guys didn't accomplish anything. You just talked about nonsense. She's like, yeah, sometimes that's what we do.
Yeah.
And by having these long dinners, that's one reason why I chose the more formal setting. Is it's a long setting,
Uh-huh.
and it's allowed us to really talk about things that are impactful to our family and talk about us and re-engage in that. And we both look forward to it. And um, she just reminded me last night, we don't have our date scheduled for this month. And so we're both excited about what that's going to continue to do in our marriage to reignite our communication, because it's not where we want to be. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I got the textbook example of what it should look like, but we're failing forward. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
We're definitely failing forward.
Yeah. Have you found that it's really helped you access more of your emotions and how you feel and what you want to communicate in those settings?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't. My time with God and my time at base camps and Friday morning, I meet with a group of men. That's really where I get access. It's all we do is pray.
Yeah.
And that whole group is an answered prayer we can talk about later. But those settings is where I really access my, I would say, spiritual emotions. And I'm trying to do better about harnessing my actual emotions, because my history is a trigger of anger and reaction. And so I'm kind of failing to the side of, be quiet. It's better to be silent and everyone assume you are a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. One of those things. And so I'm trying to say less as fast.
Yeah.
And so when we're in conversation, I'm making sure that I don't, if she does say something that she feels like she really wants to articulate over a long conversation, I've learned I need to just
slow down
and don't instantly fix the problem.
Yeah.
That's the huge takeaway from True North is that video. It's not about the nail.
Yep.
I mean, that is a message in and of itself. And I have thought about that. Like, we'll be at a date and she will say something, I will have the fix. Like, it's in my tool belt.
Yeah.
And I will literally think about that stupid video.
Yeah.
And then just keep my mouth shut.
That's so good.
And so, at accessing emotions, I would say the environments True North creates really allow me to do that.
Yeah.
My men's group on Friday, that prayer group, I don't even know what most of these guys even do for a living. Like, we just show up and pray.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That is awesome.
The Holy Spirit really gets a hold of us there. Like, people just start crying.
Yeah.
Like, nothing sad's going on. What's happening?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens to me. You're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like, the Holy Spirit is accessing your emotions, because there's absolutely no reason to be crying about this nonsense. And so that's right now, that's where God's got me accessing that. And hopefully, I'm sure my wife really hopes
Yeah.
that translates to
Yeah.
our natural
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Not there yet.
Yeah. I love that though.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into like True North stuff, I think it'd be cool to talk about what you and your daughter got to experience this year with our friend Nick McKinney.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that haven't seen it, we did a podcast probably a year ago with Nick
Yep.
McKinney. You can go back into the
I watched
records
that. Yep.
and look that up. And he talks about an organization that he's with that brings fresh water to people in Africa. And he takes groups over there pretty consistently throughout the year. And Brandon, you felt called, like, you can share more of that story of like, I want to take my daughter over and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us about that experience?
Yeah. Yeah. First, I want to piggyback. Nick McKinney, he's an incredible
Yeah.
person. I love that guy with all my heart. And his story of restoration and who he used to be and who he is now is very impressive.
Yeah.
He's a changed man. And I've been passionate about getting my kids exposed to the mission field. And oddly enough, I've had a curiosity about drilling water wells in Africa for years.
Mm.
And this is one of 2 answered prayers from a base camp last year. I prayed that I'd been exploring missions and talked to some guys about missions. And even at my church, went engaged with, what missions are out there, and met with some other guys that took their kids to South America, and nothing, I just couldn't really find a peace with it. And so that was one of my prayers at a camp that God answered within 24 hours. I was driving back home from camp, and it was the next day. Nick called me, and he said, "Hey, just want to let you know we got an introductory trip to missions for people, women and children that have never gone. It's a safe place, and I was curious if you and anyone in your family wanted to come." And I said yes, because I trusted Nick.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about what it would look like. I just trusted that Nick would provide that environment, that it was honorable and good.
Yeah.
And so I asked my daughter, and she said, "Yeah, I'll go." And so what I found out, one, the organization's impressive, Designs for Hope. Anybody that's ever curious about that kind of ministry, I very much encourage them to check it out. They use, and I hope he gives me, I'm assuming I have permission to say this, but they really use the drilling of water wells as camouflage for what the real ministry is. They're planting churches, and they're working with local pastors, and they are not bringing Western Christianity to Africa. The pastor knows his flock.
Yeah.
And what do you need from us? And how can we support you? And what that looks like is we are driving in a car with these people to the next site, and you don't know what you're doing. You don't know if you're handing out Bibles. You don't know if you're going to lead Sunday school. You don't know if you're going to go plant tomatoes. You have no idea what you're doing. And we go and we sit down, and pastor starts preaching. Turns out it's a church service, and he just point at you and say, "I want you to get up and preach." And then Nick goes, "Oh, I meant to tell you, with this guy, you always need to be ready to preach."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "What do I say?" I was like, "I should tell your story." I was like, "What's my story?" He said, "You're about to find out." so there were several examples like that. We left one site and we went to the village center, and think of dirt, rocks, huts. And I asked the pastor, like, "What are we doing?" He said, "We're going to go to the village center. We're going to preach." And I said, "To who?" He said, "The rocks, if nobody shows up."
Wow.
Yeah. And everywhere we went, it really reminded me of what it would have been like when Jesus and his disciples walked that area, and they would stop and they would rest, and people would come and they would preach. And then some way, somehow, somebody would show up with some food, and then everybody go eat, and the kids would play. And then you'd go to somebody else's house and sit with them in their, called a house. It's not what you and I would think of as a house. But it really reminded me of, that's a picture I saw when I was over there. We were walking from this family's home that actually granted the land to drill one of the water wells. And we were walking back to our vehicles, and the kids were just following us. They loved my daughter. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And they would just, any given point, my daughter had 30, 40 kids
Good grief.
all around her, just loving on her.
Yeah.
And she was loving back on them. And, but when you're walking through just the middle of Africa and you just see the joy and people hungry for the word, I just had that picture of, man, I wonder if this is what it was like.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing the next day. You don't know where, you're going to eat, you're going to get water, you don't know where it's at, but it's going to be provided.
Yeah.
The church services over there were so unique and different. We left one site and we were heading back to the cars, and I said, "Are we going to a church now?" And Nick was like, "Well, you were just there." And we were sitting on some rocks under a tree. And he said, "That's their church. That's their building. That's where they meet."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there lots of things like that. And is very much out of my daughter's element. And it was nothing like, it was by no means a catastrophic, sick at your stomach, kids dying in the street type of mission. These are healthy kids, well clothed. They definitely don't have the things that we have. A lot of them barter. They're on the barter system. They grow their crops, and it's a very simple life. But my daughter got a really good glimpse, and the biggest thing she took away was just the freedom to love.
Yeah.
She needed that. She needed that so bad, in the school that she's at, and some of the experience she's had in school. Girls can be really mean. Girls can be really mean. And that was my prayer for her, is that through her getting the opportunity to love on other people, she would get to experience how freeing that is, to just love on people and put your guard down and get vulnerable with them. And I would say the success and all that is, about a week after we got back, I said, "Would you go back and do that again?" And she didn't hesitate. She said, "Oh yeah."
That's awesome.
Yeah. She said, "I'd go back." So we had a lot of fun. Got to spend a lot of time together, and I'm not going to say we had any big crying in the shoulder moment. She did cry though. We checked into our room, and it was nice. It was a nice place, but definitely was not her comforts. Yeah. And she's very, everything is organized, everything is clean. And, she stepped into the bathroom and go take that first shower, and, there's, bugs and stuff on the wall. Yeah. And she just broke down and started crying. I just went and hugged her. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I was like, am I going to lose it? Like, are we going to fail on the first day? And got to meet some local missionaries and hear their stories of how nobody else but God orchestrated these people being over there. Yeah. It was a really big takeaway for me to actually get to have experiences of God's provision, to know that it's that much more real. We all want a miracle to know that God's real and the Spirit's real, and we want all these things. And I was so grateful to really have several experiences, if we can call them that, where there is no other way that any of these things could have happened than God and Him orchestrating through people and their obedience. And that strengthened my faith a lot coming back. And so I'm talking a lot about that trip, but I value that experience with my daughter so much. And I really appreciate Chris, the guy that leads that organization. He's doing what he's called to do. Yeah. And I think they're, Chris and Nick and some other guys, they're bold and brave. Yeah. And they are going places that most people would be scared to death to go. Yeah. And so they're very near to my heart. Yeah. So, and hopefully I get to go back with Nick on a dudes only trip, and he's going to take me to
do some dangerous stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We were supposed to go, he's going back this fall, and it didn't work at all with what I already had booked. But he talked to me about a couple places he's going to go, and it's going to be real. It's going to be real.
Yeah. The adventure.
We're going to be sleeping under the truck in the sand, and it's going to be neat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's going to be neat. I won't be able to talk about the full trip with my wife.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what to say and what not to say.
Well, hopefully she doesn't watch this and she's like, hold up, we're going to talk about
Yeah, I
this.
don't know. I don't know if she listens to any True North podcast or not, but we'll find out here in the coming months. So,
Oh man. Well, that's awesome. I think Taylor, we'll uh we'll try to add some links to Nick's stuff in here so that if you're looking for more information on that, we can get you that, because I know Nick's always looking for more people to be involved with it, and it is a really cool deal. We've had a couple other True North guys that have gone with them on some trips too, and so that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great resource for
Mhm.
the guys in True North. Their heart gets restored and they want to go act. They
Yeah,
want to go adventure
yeah,
um and Nick and Chris, they're both very good. They don't expect people to come over there and always go do missions. They want the heart of missions to come alive in people,
mm,
even if that means you're doing it in your own backyard.
yeah.
And I think that's what it did for a lot of people on the trip.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your history with True North. Um, you are now on the board.
Yes.
You're one of our newest board members.
Yes.
Incredible asset to the board, by the way. I love the way that your mind works, and your heart for True North. You've probably come up with a lot more smaller ideas that can help move the mission forward than most men in the organization, and I'm really appreciative of that. You're always spurring on new ideas for me to pursue as well, and it's been awesome having you on the board. What what how did it get started for you? Why are you passionate about it in the first place?
It's about being on the board or
It's
True North.
all of it. Yeah, being involved,
Um,
mission minded with True North, all of that.
yeah, honestly, to be on the board, it reminds me of that story where the woman who was bleeding and she just wanted to touch
Yeah.
Jesus. I just wanted to be close to James.
Oh my gosh. No.
No.
Delete this part.
um, I would say I've been around boards and on boards, and I don't like boards.
Mm,
I really don't. Um, just have my experience. It just you got a lot of people in the room and nobody's accomplishing anything. But um, this is a little bit different, especially as I really started to see um, how God was wanting you to lead True North down a different path,
mhm,
the narrow path.
mhm,
And that really resonated with me. And I really got to see your heart of and very pastoral. Um, let's go deeper
mhm.
resonated with where I was at. And so the invitation to be on the board really to me felt like simply me just merging on a trail
Yeah.
is really what it was. And the more encounters I can have with godly men that are going down the same path
Mhm.
selfishly, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's my honest answer is I did it really for me.
Mm.
Was if I'm around these guys and we're all focusing and practicing listening prayer and trying to hear from God for direction for True North, how is that a bad thing?
Mhm.
And whatever earthly skill sets, things I can bring to the table, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
And that's really what it looked like for me getting on the board. And so, yeah, I did come with a lot of ideas. I noticed in the last board meeting, ideas got moved to the bottom of the agenda, and I knew that was for me.
It was not for you. It was not for you.
Yeah, I do have a lot of ideas, but there's so many things. A lot of small changes. Make big movements, but they need to be prayerfully considered. And that's what I really appreciate about you, is you really balance. What is a good business operations decision? Which I'm an operations driven person, and does that align with what you are hearing and everybody we're all hearing really needs to happen?
Yeah.
And in balancing that at the same time being responsible and stewarding what we have.
Mhm.
And so I'm really excited about all the different skill sets and personalities we have on the board. We're not the same people, and that's a very good thing. And I'm working with Andy and others to tweak how some of our financial measurements and things like that, and analyzing our cost and making sure we're really good stewards of our resources. And not that we haven't been, but just getting better at it.
Yeah.
And so that we can really look at look at some of the information and use that as a factor, and not the factor, but at least a factor in some of the decisions we make.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about coming alongside you and as the leader of where we're going and what do you need? How can we help? My prior board experience, the poor executive director had to sit there and get told what to do and what not to do. And I was like, man, I don't make sense to me. I mean, they're the heartbeat of the mission. So what are they seeing? What are they feeling? And how do we come alongside that? And I think that's the theme of the board right now is how do we come alongside the ministry and not be a roadblock, but be a bulldozer, like clear out the roadblock.
Yeah.
So,
but
it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah.
As far as, I think timing wise, it worked out really good.
Yeah.
With when I was ready and when the board was ready. And
Talk about your experience with True North from the beginning. When was your first base camp? And
Hugo and I have talked about this. I'm pretty sure it was 2014.
Okay.
Because we were both working at Devon. Chris Smedstad plucked me out of the lobby at Life Church. And I had really been I'm going to say the word praying. I wasn't praying. I was like, God dang it, I need to get in the men's group. I need a men's retreat.
Yeah.
Maybe some profanity mixed up in there too.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at the time. And Chris just walked right up to me. I was walking with my wife and my kids. And he said, hey, I don't remember what he said, but he just, Chris, he just right in my face.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you about this thing. You need to go. And I was like, dude, I've been looking for this, and signed up and went. And that weekend was forever changed my trajectory.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a mountaintop high. It was just like I took this massive cold plunge, and you got out and you're like, okay,
kind of buzzing.
I'm beginning to understand. I understand. I'm aware. I need to navigate this direction. And like most guys, after the first base camp, you walk away with this laundry list of faults and defects that you're going to go fix, and you don't get any of them done. It's kind of what I did. So to my credit, I went back again, and then went back again, and then went back again. And I've been doing that since 2014, just going back.
Yeah.
First one was Anadarko. So hot mess.
Yeah.
It was a hot mess. Ran out of snacks the first day. I think I found my room on my own, where the bunks are that way. Well, okay, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
What time we start? And I'm a coffee guy. We didn't have any coffee. And
we used to not do coffee back before I was here.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was like a year or two into even me working here before we finally were like, hey, let's start providing coffee during sessions.
Yeah. The mattresses we'd been better off just sleeping on a board.
Yeah.
But what I loved so much was the authenticity. Trey Dixon got up there and spoke, and he was saying stuff, and I was like, who even talks like this?
Yeah.
Like, who is this real?
Yeah.
Who owns their baggage like this? And then within 4 or 5 hours, some dude next to you's bawling his eyes out, telling you he just had an affair on his wife the day before he came to camp.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
Like, nobody is this transparent. With that guy, I was like, bro, I'm messed up too. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. Go talk to those guys. I think there's a prayer team back there. I don't know if they're going to fix it. I don't know what they do, but go talk to them.
Yeah.
Nathan was back there. LaRue was back there. Mikologic was back there. But, I think God used a lack of comfort to really, make me uncomfortable. And, I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. Same reason guys like going camping. Got wild, did laser tag. I went out and had fun.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time. Went out and did paintball.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time. A couple camps later, I took a guy that I worked with there. We wound up playing paintball against Eddie Penny.
A Navy SEAL.
And his Navy SEAL buddies.
Yeah.
And they murdered us. When they ran out of ammo, they still charged us.
Beat you with their guns.
Took our weapons. And shot us with our own weapon. They went stone cold killer on us. And I know Eddie's changed a lot since then. I saw that guy, like he was walking through the bathroom and had a towel wrapped around his waist.
Yeah.
And was like a Michelangelo chiseled person. And he scared me to death. Like I just beeline to the right.
Yeah.
And then I wound up playing paintball against that guy the next day. But me and David, the guy that, there's 3 of us that signed up to play, and we all figured out who we were playing. 3 of us signed up. The other guy quit. Me and David were the only ones that were dumb enough to go out there. And so we knew what we were getting up against. But I know he's progressed a lot in his faith, and I think he's got a lot to do with Sean Ryan's salvation, I think.
Yeah.
But I'd love to run into that guy and see if he remembers that at all.
Yeah.
He's just watching his interviews and stuff now. He's by no means the same person.
Yeah.
But that was a really fun base camp story.
Yeah.
He just waxed us. He didn't have to keep shooting us, but he did.
Yeah.
Him and his buddies.
Were you all bruised up coming home?
Yeah, I was whelped up. I was totally whelped up.
Your wife was like, what happened here?
Yeah, David, the guy that I went with, he was scared to death because he saw Eddie's face. He thought he was going to kill him. He took his mask off and everything. Those guys didn't even have their mask on. They were just coming to kill us. I was like, oh my God, I hope the insurance is good. So,
that's why we have waivers now.
Yeah. And then the pistol shooting and rifle shooting. We went and shot guns, and it was mayhem. I'm sitting there, getting my guns out, and I look over, and there's a guy that loaded up his gun. And he's shooting like over my shoulder at some target. And I'm like, oh my God! I started diving in the ground. I was like, nobody knows what they're doing. But guys were just wild and free.
Yeah.
Thank God nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
And I say that in nothing but praise.
And this was 10 years ago, people. Like, this has not happened
This
anymore.
was the last camp last weekend.
We are so much more professional now.
Yeah.
The last camp last week.
It's definitely where we started. And that's where, no matter who you are, organization type you are, everybody starts somewhere.
Yep.
And the leadership of True North at that time, man, they were failing forward. You know, they were trusting God and they were going forward. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. The experience was awesome.
Yeah.
It's just like John Elder talks about. You listen to the stories we're talking about. It's of mayhem and chaos and adventure. And that woke all of us guys up.
Yeah.
It woke us up. And
you just feel like you literally haven't felt that with inside yourself since you were a boy, right?
100%.
Like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't have that paintball experience, but there's just certain things that you go out and do and adventure with a group of guys, and you're just like laughing about things. It's like, man, I haven't felt this since high school. Like, what? I didn't know and you don't even realize that it's gone missing from your life.
Yep.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
What from your story, like your life, kind of got brought up for you in those seasons of base camp? What did you walk through out of your own story?
I think communication, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think communication with my wife is really a big story. Mm-hmm. Like I talked about earlier, the way that all she ever knew was over communication, and all I ever knew was zero communication. I mean, zero.
Yeah.
And how I communicated, what I was thinking, feeling, and you don't communicate your feelings. You don't, but you probably should with your wife, who is a very emotional person. She wants to do that. So if I can, after 2.5 days with a bunch of dudes, if I could pour out my heart to a bunch of dudes, why am I so insecure about doing that with my wife? That pose of keep it together. You're the leader. You can't do those things. I think, that journey, which I'm still on very much, really became a part of my story of communication with my wife. And then kind of the re-engaging of spiritual warfare, that didn't start early. That's really only started here lately.
Yeah.
Part of my story was the mishandling of spiritual warfare and the gifts of the Spirit. Um, intentions were good, but it was very much mishandled.
Yeah, because you grew up in a pretty charismatic
Yeah.
church, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It really wasn't at the church. It was more these events that we would go do
Mm.
off site. And, you're 14, 15 years old and being asked to do all these things. And, um, and again, like my youth pastor and other folks, they're really good people and their intentions were good. I think we all just, I started following the wrong leadership
Mm.
and really bought into that. And it just turned into a train wreck for me
Yeah.
and one of my best friends, um, we just started having fun with it. They'd be up there and people be praying for people and, pushing them down and doing that whole thing. We just started to have games like who can catch the most
Oh
people. And
my
we
gosh.
just started having fun with it. Um, but it really made me put, and it wasn't at the time. I didn't realize this until I look back, but I very much put 2 of the 3 in a box of the Trinity.
Mm.
Um, especially the Holy Spirit. I put that wild, crazy sucker in a box.
Yeah.
And I had my fire insurance of salvation and I was good to go. And all I really needed to do was just take my family to church and try not to screw things up too
Yeah.
bad. Don't run off on your wife and, don't go to jail or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty low bar
Yeah.
of when you think about living a life of excitement and adventure and not being bored. But outside looking in, I would say, like Elders talks about, we probably came across for a long time as a good family.
Yeah.
You guys are doing good.
Yeah.
You go to church and you got a house and your cars work. Your kids don't scream in a restaurant and you have a job. Good job.
Yeah.
You got what it takes.
Yeah.
And, over time, that lack of boredom and lack of adventure really starts to eat away at a man's heart.
Yep.
And
being a good man will kill you.
being a good man was destroying me. It was absolute. And so because I couldn't communicate with my wife, I had no way to offload this, and it all accumulated. I got frustrated and marriage. I was very frustrated with my marriage and everything else. And I quit my job and got a job in Afghanistan. Daughter was 1 year old.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have the balls to divorce you, but I
Yeah.
don't have to live with you.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go over here
Yeah.
where it is wild and crazy and where I might die. And that would be okay.
So talk about misplaced desire,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not able to
Yeah.
communicate your desire with your wife.
Right.
And then so you act out and
Yeah.
put all your desire in
Yeah.
this crazy decision to go to Afghanistan.
Yep. And getting some real world experiences over there that I'd never been around. And I was there about 45 days and found myself in a very precarious situation where it was just me and God in an Afghan village in a very uncomfortable situation. And God found me there. And I realized how selfish I was and that I'm like, what if this is how I left things with my family? You know, what kind of coward is that I ran from the challenge of working through something with a really good lady. My wife is an amazing person. Just because I didn't have the courage to go get a counselor and let's start just talking with a guide of why I'm frustrated. And I'm sure she's got a long list of things that are imperfect about me. I know that. I could make the list for her. I could have done something like that. The courage to do something like that was much more difficult for me and seemed impossible to me, but to just bail and go get shot at was easier. And like that, it doesn't make any sense at all. And so I wound up staying over there for a little over a year. But when I came back, through that experiences and several others, I started to have the desire, like I need a men's group, like I need a men's retreat. And all I knew was my church life growing up, where a men's retreat was guys went somewhere and they all talked about their favorite Bible verse. And, God's got this and God's showing me this and I'm perfect and my family's perfect and I don't have problems. And And that's what I thought I was looking for. And thank God for True North and Base Camp.
Yeah.
Walked out of the first session. There's 4 guys smoking cigars.
Yeah.
I was like, we're talking about God smoking cigars.
Yeah.
It's like, can you do that here?
Yeah.
We do it at home. It's like, what? Is there rules? Or it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, he's going through a diva right now, and I forget the guy's name. We're waiting on him. We're waiting on him to talk. He's got something to share.
Hmm.
And so I just sat down. I hate cigars, so I didn't smoke, but I love the smell of them.
Yeah.
And so nothing spiritual was happening. And then finally, the gentleman that they'd all just been waiting patiently on, he broke loose, and God showed up at 10 o'clock at night with 5 very imperfect people, 4 of whom were smoking cigars, and God showed up. And so True North and Base Camp has done such an amazing job of just cutting right through the pose and the flesh, and going after the heart of a man, and just like God wants. I don't look at all those things.
Yeah.
If we all go and count our sins and what we do wrong, it's an endless list. And it really made me hungry to be around authentic people. And so that's why I've just stayed the course with it.
Yeah. What have been some of your favorite experiences at True North? What's been some of your? We'll go with each stage. We got Base Camp, Ascent, and Summit.
Okay.
What's been some of your favorite experiences at Base Camp?
Well, what I just mentioned would be one of them. The long list of a couple of those early on at Anadarko, getting to baptize somebody for the first time, was really cool. That was a big step in me. Because, in high school, I would lead CU at the pole. I would lead from the stage at youth camps. I was a big time leader, and I put all that in a box. And I used to lead the events. The thing about a director type.
Yeah.
I did that for a long time. And, man, I threw that in the trash.
Yeah.
And I had no desire to step out in any way, shape, form, or fashion and be bold in front of a group of people about it, because I got damaged by it. But the stir to not lead, but the stir to go win souls and to go grab men and rescue men started to stir in me. And the first camp where I actually got to baptize somebody and learn how to do that, I'd never done that before. I'd always just been the entertainer up front, and acting like spiritual influencer. But getting that cold water with a few dudes and seeing the change in someone that come out of the water, that was really good for me. The first camp that I got to serve at, where I wasn't a camper and then I served, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was coffee making machine.
You were awesome, man.
I was on point.
You were
with
so
it.
prepared. Like
Brandon, I loved it.
You printed out a map of the camp.
I did.
So that you could show people where to go, and just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was frustrated with the lack of ability to find your way. So, bought those signs so that people had wayfinding directions. Here's the auditorium. And, obviously I'm just a operations minded person, but, doing the snacks and the coffee and stuff with excellence is, just to quote you, doing it with excellence, really got me fired up, because you're back there with other guys that are stepping into leadership at True North. And so you start to form bonds with them. You start to see from the back, you get to see God work. And going to camps and serving gets addicting. Because it's way better, to me, my opinion. It's way better than just going to camp. I know a lot of guys that serve, they'll go to camp to have that time. But it's not on my heart right now to just show up at a camp.
And there's just this level of like investment that you've put into it, and in a healthy way. There's an unhealthy way to do this, but in a healthy way, you're looking at these men that you're investing kind of your hopes to see a change in, and then it happens, and it's just, I mean, there's not much better feelings in the world when you see the light come on
Yeah. Or
for a
sometimes it
man.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's another learning part is sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't happen.
That's why you have to be healthy
That's right.
about how much you put into it,
Yeah.
because if you ever bring a family member
Yeah.
or a friend that
Yeah.
you've been praying comes to base camp and they come
Yeah.
and it doesn't hit them in the way
Mhm.
that you've experienced. If you haven't walked with God in that process, man, that can be a harmful experience
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
soul.
You feel invalidated
Yeah.
because it didn't pan out the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it just takes time. You got to realize, and I'm still failing forward a lot, but you're just a thread in the quilt, and this is where
Hmm.
it's at. And I think reading the Old Testament would bring people a lot of comfort, and things take time.
Yeah.
Those poor dudes, they had to wait a long time for
Yeah.
things to
Yeah.
building an ark and you name it, the Moses and his journey. So there's some encouragement in that as far as trying to understand God's timing versus ours.
Hmm.
Um, the ascent was wild for me.
Hmm.
The first time you practiced listening prayer, that was just crazy.
Hmm.
I had all these opinions of this guy, and I was judging him and sizing him up, and then he just, you know, I wound up telling him about it. It's kind of how I am. I walked up to him after. I was like, "Dude, I read you wrong.
Yeah.
I've been judging you this whole weekend." And the things he said and articulated um, were very much from God.
Mm-hmm.
It was reading some mail,
Hmm.
and I hadn't been around that since high school,
Yeah.
where people were prophesying and reading your mail. And
Yeah.
some of those guys in high school growing up, um, some of them would hit it. Like you could tell they're authentic, and you could
Hmm.
tell it was spot on. So that was another chip away at my
Yeah.
heart.
Little healing
When
there.
okay, he don't know that, I don't know him, I don't even remember his name, I already forgot it.
Yeah.
But he was spot on with where I'm at.
Yeah.
And another guy said the same thing. He really spoke in another guy's life.
Mm.
And so that was a big opening for me although I didn't have any big aha
Hmm.
um, moments. It was, whatever I thought I was going to say, I didn't say because it's my imagination.
Yeah.
I didn't have peace in that. And I didn't feel, I just wasn't in a place where I felt
Hmm.
comfortable or brave enough
Yeah.
to say anything there. So that was a neat experience at the ascent. And then the summit, uh, that was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
The summit was a game changer for me. Just getting to a point where it's okay to be okay
Hmm.
with this taking a while.
Yeah.
That piece of you're not gonna be where you want to be next week or next year or in 10 years. You will finish whenever you die.
Yeah.
And man, there's so much peace in that. And
So much permission.
yeah, there's so much permission to
Just be
yeah,
where you are.
yeah, just be. And it doesn't give you, it didn't give me permission to just stop working on things,
Right.
but it gave me permission to set more achievable goals, if we can call them that.
Hmm.
you know and it took the weight off of, well, how long till I'm like James?
Mm.
Right. Well, that's not the goal anymore.
That's a heavy weight.
It is a heavy weight because
Gosh.
because if you really think about it, it'd take me 90 years to really get to your holiness,
Hmm.
if I could even do it.
Hmm. Yeah.
um but it gave me permission to really um kind of search my own heart and see what does union with God look like,
Yeah.
and start actually practicing
Hmm.
pausing and actually practice listening prayer.
Yeah.
And what does that look like to articulate what you think you're hearing? I'd never done that.
Hmm.
And really just did that for the first time in my men's group not long ago.
Hmm.
I said, God, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm just gonna tell you and it wrecked some people.
Yeah.
God, whatever God said didn't mean anything to me. I don't know what it meant.
Hmm.
Um, and all throughout that week, one of the guys in the group, he kept getting more things from God about what was said through me. And that was encouraging to know that God is really unpacking more with him through that. So the summit was really, probably, if I think about spiritual journey and awareness and really getting traction and union with God. That's probably my favorite
Mm.
event for me.
Yeah.
Um, and then the cold plunges.
Yeah. That's so
I
special.
thought that was gonna be holy. There was nothing holy about it. we were, I thought we were in a cold plunge at 6 a.m. and have some kind of this quiet time with God. I think I was cussing a little bit.
Yeah.
when you get
You're
when you get
suffering.
when you get your shoulders below the water, it
Yeah.
was brutal.
Yeah. Because it was March
Hmm.
and we were in a river, a spring fed
Spring fed
river
river.
that was beautiful. And
Yeah,
that's so different than your normal cold plunge tubs, because when you get in a cold plunge tub, the water stays still.
yeah.
In a river, that stuff is just moving
Oh yeah.
and you're in it, and like your body never settles in.
No.
Uh,
Did you ever open up your arms
Oh
and
yeah.
expose your
Oh
armpits?
dude. Yeah.
It felt like instant death. I opened
Yeah.
it up. I was like, "Well, that's instant hypothermia. I'm gone." And I shut them back, trying to close in
Yeah.
the heat. Remember Dave Dunn
Yeah.
when he was getting
Yeah.
and Sean McGuire was coaching him in?
Yep. Yep.
Oh
Gosh,
God.
what was there? There was like, I
Mhm.
think there was 5 or 6 of us the first couple days that
Yeah,
did it. And then the last day we had like 12 guys out
we
there.
did.
We kept on challenging guys
Yeah.
every evening, like, hey, wake up
Oh
with us
man.
early tomorrow morning. And it was during daylight savings time too, because the first 2 mornings it was bright outside. Well, then
Hmm.
daylight savings time hit and it was dark on Sunday
Hmm.
morning. And we had to go out there in the pitch black and get in the river. And that's whenever all 12 guys went out there.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. There's a lot of extremes. Decker was out there in a situation normal to him. He was
Yeah.
just gangster over there.
Yeah.
And then
He's probably faking it a little
Dave
bit.
walked in and it was so funny because he thought he was doing it with us, and everyone was like, "No, you're not. Keep going, keep going." And you could just see him in the battle going on in his mind and his heart to take another step,
Yep.
another step. And then I don't remember the nonsense Sean McGuire was saying,
Yeah.
but Sean had me rolling.
Yeah.
That guy had me rolling.
Yeah.
That was my
Oh yeah.
favorite.
He was like preaching in
He
the
was
water.
preaching. He was something about.
He's like rebuking the enemy and like,
Yeah, he said something about the devil's gonna snap up. Oh, I don't know what he said. It was the he was probably hypothermic as well, so
yeah.
there's no telling what he was really saying.
Yeah.
But, and then giving Sean a piggy. I remember giving him a piggyback across the rocks because his feet were hurting or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun, and we did that every morning.
Yeah.
We actually got up and did it.
Yeah. That was a big
And
moment.
I haven't done it since.
Yeah. It was, I mean, there's some there's a lot of good. There is a lot of spiritual good coming from doing really hard things like
There
that.
is, yeah.
That was really special for sure. And we've talked about it.
Mhm.
We've all joked about it whenever we see each other. And
But you and I talked about it at that event, though. It was more about getting up and doing a hard thing.
yeah.
I remember you and I talking about that in the
Yeah.
room. That's why we were going down there and do
Yeah.
it, is to effort on that more.
And it's weird. I mean, you find something out about yourself when you do that too,
Mhm.
because, you know, we could sit from these chairs right now and say the best thing to do if you're going to go get in a river is just get in.
Yep.
But then what's everybody do whenever you get to the shore? It's like there's hesitation, right? And my whole life has been hesitation about everything. But for some reason, I like that particular like I'm a wuss about a lot of things, man. And for me, I s- I knew that the best strategy was to get in the water fast, and that's exactly what I was able to do. And
Rip the
so like
Band-Aid.
overcoming
Yeah.
some fear, and it made it look to the rest of you guys like, oh, James is tough or something. And it's like that's so far from the case. Like I
Yeah,
usually
you
would be the
did.
last
You did
person.
just walk in there
Yeah.
confident. You didn't hesitate.
And there was
When you
just
think about it.
there's inner dialogue going like you know what's best, do it. And that translates to so much of ministry.
Yeah.
Like there can be so much hesitation of what your next move is. And it's just like, no, just do it.
Yeah.
And that's really, for me, it has translated a lot in stepping into this role as director and all that stuff. But so it was a very spiritual experience.
Yeah, that's true though. You got a good point. Like you get that conviction, and that
Mhm.
conviction is the Holy Spirit telling you exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And in the flesh, it looks like stepping in the river.
Hmm.
In the spiritual world, it looks different.
Yeah.
It's praying for that person that you just thought of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Texting that person.
Hmm.
um, saying no to that thing, saying
Yes.
yes to that thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good connection there
Yeah.
of very physical,
Yeah.
tangible to the conviction that we have, and that's really what I'm trying to do better. That's where I truly believe God speaks to me is because my conviction has amped up a lot
Yeah.
in the past
Yeah.
year,
Yeah. I've seen that
a
in
lot,
you for sure.
and so I'm like, okay, this is getting loud.
Yeah.
This is getting really loud.
That's
So that's
that's
okay,
such a
God.
beautiful place to be though.
Yeah.
So much better than not having any desire
Hmm.
and passion and just walking around life doing nothing, right? So that's really good. Let's talk um about True North and what your hopes are. I know you're early on in being on the board. You've gotten to see a lot more behind the curtains. I know you are passionate about men coming and experience what you've experienced. What's some fun things or good things that you're looking forward to, hoping for, planning for over the next 5 years for True North?
My this may be fresh off of the event that happened yesterday with Charlie Kirk.
Hmm.
The boldness to speak out in faith, and um, also we were talking a little bit about the business of religion before the podcast started, and what the church actually is. I give a portion of my tithe to True North because this
Hmm.
is my church body,
Hmm.
and um, you know, we are the church and we are the body of believers, and we need to be godly men,
Hmm.
and so that we can actually go have effective change, just like Charlie Kirk was trying to do. And so my heart has really shifted away from what my earthly job and what I wake up every doing day is grow and expand in excellence. I want my vision for True North and what I would hope would happen with it would be an infection, like an Ebola virus of a deepening of faith in men
Hmm.
in the church.
Yeah.
And then if the men in the church, the the building of the church, whatever brand, insert brand, Methodist, Baptist, Life Church, whatever, um, if the men in those congregations had union with God and had a deepened faith, and we had a whole bunch of bold men,
Mm.
um, the impact that would happen, just one, the souls that would be saved.
Mhm.
Young men that would have a mentor and not have to live a train wreck life. Um, the nuclear family would stay intact. Um, kids that don't have parents would wind up with parents. I mean, even think about just needing for the poor.
Mhm.
We don't need the federal government to, the church body, the community would go take care of our people, our
Mhm.
neighbors, and that would be my vision or my hope for what I would want the outcomes of True North to be would be a whole bunch of dudes that got woke the f up
Yeah.
and went first and worked on themselves and their relationship with God, and then got their family intact and in a good place,
Yeah.
got their own house in order, and then they went into their church and they got other men and drug men
Yeah.
that um, were just like me. I was Satan's ideal person.
Mm.
I was Christian. He couldn't touch me. And I was just very much just staying in my lane.
Yeah.
I wasn't a threat to him until I was.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I would want to see happen with the outcomes of True North. So it
Mm.
really goes hand in hand with the narrow path that you've led us down, and the deepening of roots in the faith.
Yeah.
So
I love that because I think it's hard to convey what we believe the impact of True North can be. Like, it's not just a fun retreat for men, right? Like, that can be from the outside looking in, of someone who even is a believer, Christian man, leadership, church leadership, looking at True North like, oh, like that's just a place for men to go and, you know,
right,
have some reprieve, have some fun. Uh, we kind of see the impact, but overall, like, they don't get the vision for how it impacts society, right?
Right.
Like that, there's a long map or trail or path between
Yeah.
between guys going to have a fun retreat and what it looks like to impact society. Whereas a lot of the other nonprofits in the world that are crucial that we love, right? Like it's easy to see, like you serve a homeless person, like there's like direct
Right.
kingdom impact. Like the path between is like, it's just in union.
Right.
You help someone in foster care or in abuse situation or addiction. Like there's just, you don't have to figure out how that impacts society and the kingdom of God.
Right.
But there's this long path between what True North is doing,
Yeah.
but yet,
It's almost a generational effect that it'll
yeah,
have. Yeah.
and but it's the deepest, right?
Right.
Like it is so, the ripple effect and the multiplication aspect of it is that's why I'm sold out for it, right?
Yep. You are.
Like because man, if we could just get it, like things would change. Everything would change.
Yeah. Over in God's time. And I think
Yeah.
that's the hard part is what does that look like? Because as far as the impact goes, how, let's say a guy gets woken up through our ministry. Well, how long does it take for him to really get himself? I'm a great example. We'll say get things sorted out, get their crap together, get comfortable being uncomfortable, whatever that looks like. That'd be 5 years, 1 year, 10 years. And then, okay, I'm full throttle. Here I go.
Yeah.
I've changed the tires on this bus while I was driving down the road, and here we go. And so to your point, you don't get to see the child that was hungry. It's full now, and it's got a place to sleep.
Yeah.
It just takes a while to measure that outcome.
But like when there's a marriage that is still a marriage today,
Yeah.
or a dad that is still a dad today, it's like we take so many of the things that are the benefactors of what we do get taken for granted because it's fairly normal life. Like,
Right.
But if you look at the flip side, like broken families lead to addictions and abuse, and man, just keep them together, keep men pursuing the right things. And then, man, if we could see the church come alive, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it is in portions.
Yeah, to come alive, it takes being under attack. If the boldest, bravest people they're in the countries where they get killed if they talk about their faith. And that's part of getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. If for the church to really get woke up.
Yeah.
Something bad's got to happen.
Yep.
And I think those things are happening.
Yeah. This kind of puts you a little on the spot, but I know you've been passionate over the years about people giving towards True North and investing in True North. What's your perspective on that? I know we've talked a lot about what we've talked about kind of leads into that anyways, but if you could just summarize that for someone that maybe, why is it important to invest into True North?
Well, I think you could easily get into the whole tithing conversation here. And I think 10% is a good place to start. I really do. And God wants us to give freely with a joyful heart, whatever that means. And so I'm very fortunate to have the freedom. I don't feel tied to a tithe, but I do feel convicted to give as I'm compelled to give. And I don't know whether that's a tip at a restaurant, whether that's a monthly contribution to True North, whether that's a monthly contribution to my home church, whether that's sponsoring something, whether that's some kid selling blue and gold sausage and you feel like you should buy 5 packages of 3.5 pound bacon.
I mean, that's never a bad option.
No, that's never a bad option. I really want, if anybody does listen to this podcast, I would love for them to have some conviction about giving freely and cheerfully.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm going to burn some bridges with people, but separate yourself from this idea of 10%.
Yeah.
is 10% a good place to start for you? And if every person that had ever been to base camp donated a cup of coffee a week
Mm-hmm.
to this ministry,
Mm-hmm.
I, again, being the finance guy, I can't even imagine
Yeah.
the resources that we would have. And so it is passion in my heart. I would love for anybody that is watching this, and you've been impacted by True North, you're not going to miss a McDonald's cheeseburger or a cup of coffee every week. Just
Mm-hmm.
set it and forget it. It's going to add a lot of fruit. It's a tremendous return on your investment, and you know that you are investing in spiritual things. So just do it and pray about it later.
Yeah.
I, think about all the dumb stuff we spend our money on that we don't even consider.
Yeah.
And once you get automatic about that, and you just freeze it, it's not like we're trying to, go create some, big fund account, or we're trying to, and I see it on the back end. We steward resources very well, and we want to reinvest those things in experience at scholarships.
Yeah.
I'll be bold with everybody that's watching this. That's one thing we've learned. We give away more money than we get for scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And God can solve it, and we want God to solve it. We want every single person that wants to come to camp. So if 200 dudes gave $5 a week to provide scholarships for men to go, it would solve that problem.
Yep.
Just by themselves. And people don't think you're doing much by doing that, but you're changing the world.
Yeah.
So I am passionate about it. And I just know that, the weight of somebody feeling like they got to be some $50,000 donor is not even a thing.
Yeah.
Just everybody just give a little bit in honor to God for, the changes it's done in your life and the value it's added to your life. If you're listening to this at all, you feel a little bit of conviction, that's step in the water and do the cold plunge.
Yeah.
Is what I would tell you. Just do it.
Yeah.
And you'll be glad you did it. And, I don't ever forget that I'm doing it. I'm glad. It makes me feel good to know that I'm giving a couple bucks.
Yeah.
To hear, and in other organizations too, where I feel led to give. And again, I don't give a lot of money, but I respond with what God has provided me. And then I feel fed by these ministries and people and things. And so you just give freely.
Yeah.
So that's, but I think we get so tied up in this tithe thing, and I have to give 10%, and I have to give it to the church I go to. And again, I may burn some serious bridges with people watching this right now. But again, if I could land the plane, 10% is a good place to start. And if you really go back to that tithe, I think it's something like 20, 30% by the time you added up everything they had to do.
Yeah.
And so give to your home church, yes.
Yeah.
But you also have a church here at True North, this church body that we do life with every week too. And so consider that as well.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that if more did that.
Yeah.
And then we're just sitting around throwing it on the mattress.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We'll just, have paper fights with it.
Well, the truth is, like, the vision I have, like, men are so busy right now. Everybody's so busy, right? And if we could have more men, if God just blessed us financially, my dream would be it would be invested in people and bring people on and, essentially sponsor their margin with a salary where they're now able to go and sit across from more men
that'd be
and
good.
help walk them through what they're walking through, because the number of men in Oklahoma City alone that are having to walk through difficult things, like, we couldn't hire enough men, right? To meet that need.
That would be good.
And that's like, so we're not trying to build any kind of empire or big buildings or even buy our own camp. Like, none of that is
other than the bowling alley you've talked about.
I would love a bowling alley and a pickleball court, of course.
Right.
I mean,
beside those, in the pinball
all for
machine,
the glory of God.
All for the glory of God.
Yeah.
And then there's the sauna.
Yes.
But those are all things that you need in order to really come across well on stage
Exactly.
and on the camera.
All right.
We just undid it all.
Yeah. But no, like, yeah.
Everybody knows your heart, James. Yeah. It's a safe spot.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love that. Consider that. This has been really great. Brandon, is there anything in preparation of this podcast that we haven't talked about that is on your heart to share or talk about?
But, oddly, the one thing that was on my heart was how could, and I didn't talk to you about it at all, but like, how could I talk about people giving $5 a week? Mm-hmm. I'm just so passionate about it because it has such a massive impact.
Yeah.
And I just don't care how much money you make, like $5 a week. I don't know why I'm stuck on $5 a week, but
it's just, that's an easy number, right? It's so easy to see, like, we could give this up in my weekly life.
Yeah.
To invest in something.
Not even know about it. It won't get in the way of anything. Yeah. And it gets people engaged. It adds so much value to the ministry, and it gives, people that haven't ever given before, they start to practice what that's like to give. Yeah. And how freeing it is, and how, the mindset of abundance starts to show up. And you're, what I've learned over time is the more I give, the less I give a crap about things. Mm-hmm. My fleshly desires and stuff just go down. So that was really.
Can I point to something too? Yeah. If we had 100 men give $5 a week, that would cover our entire expense budget right now. That would be $240,000. That outside of our base camp expenses, just to give you, I mean, we're transparent. We have, like, nonprofits you have to post your financials. So this is but like, outside of our base camp cost and all our camp retreat costs, and the way that we charge for it is meant to cancel out each other. So you kind of just take all those expenses out. All the things that we do outside of that to operate
I'm tracking with you
is
now.
right at about $240,000.
Wow.
So 100 men at $5 a week, that's $240 per year per man. Is that right? I just did my math wrong, didn't I?
I think that'd
be $260. That'd be $260,000.
We should probably get out a calculator.
Yeah. Let's just call your wife. Can we
call
do
my wife?
the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire hotline? All right. $220,000.
Call my math teacher.
Do we have that capability, Taylor?
Taylor, what is 500 times 52?
250,000. Oh gosh.
26,000.
You're a zero off.
Got it. Boom.
Oh.
You said 100 guys?
He said 100 guys, $5 a week.
Yeah,
that would be $260 per year per guy. Yeah, times 100.
26,000.
That's $26,000.
Yeah, you're a zero off. We got to backtrack this,
guys. We just need 1,000 guys.
We're just gonna edit that whole thing.
Oh my gosh! I was like, "Oh, this works perfect."
Yeah.
Dang it!
But
it's hopeless.
In preparation for the podcast, though, that is one thing I was hoping I could figure out how to talk about, because I am passionate about it. And then more of, the fact that I am here and comfortable having a conversation and being as authentic as I can be is a big step for me. Mm-hmm. And it's me, time in the oven, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I'm a long ways away from where I need to be with my family and with God and everything else. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly going towards environments and people that are going the same direction I'm going. Yeah. And to me, that's what matters.
Yeah.
And what success looks like is ever changing.
Yeah.
And so there's just so much freedom in that.
Yeah.
And, however I can land that plane with anybody listening, just keep failing forward, keep going.
I love it.
And if somebody invites you to do the next thing that is tough, mm-hmm. but it is good, then just go do it.
Yeah.
And I think the more you say yes to the better things that are for you, you focus a lot less on the crap that you need to stop doing.
Yeah.
It just falls away.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about with alcohol, I want trying to mitigate or eliminate any of it. It just kind of fell away.
Yep. When you
You know,
start getting closer to the right thing.
Yeah, it just became more of a nuisance and in the way of what I was trying to do. And so instead of looking at things, what's good or bad, what's in the way of what I'm trying to become. And when you look through life through that lens, there's a lot more clarity of run towards the things that are good and better and on my path, and just don't go towards the other things.
Yeah.
It's that simple and that hard.
Love it.
I'll sign my book after this.
There you go.
After this podcast.
There you go. And I can't let you go without, number one, complimenting you, because you have the best sayings. Like your little, I don't even know what they're called. What
isms?
Your isms. Oh my gosh.
I have some country isms.
Yeah. And they are some of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Number one, how do you remember all of them?
They just come in the moment. And I don't even know.
Are they all from your past? Like just stuff you've heard in the past?
So I'm a product of growing up on a ranch around working cowboys in the construction industry.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot of wisdom. And I've read a lot of wisdom on porta potties on the job site. And so a lot of it, I would say, is a mesh of nonsense that none of it is my own thoughts. It's all somebody somewhere said the dumb thing first, and I just pull it out.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite one that would be appropriate to share on the podcast?
Honestly, not on the spot.
Okay.
Because they really just come to me in the moment.
Be procured.
They have to be extracted. But yeah, if you hang around me long enough, you definitely.
Yeah.
And on leadership calls at work, that's when it's the best. When it's pretty serious people.
Yeah.
And pretty executive folks. And I will say it and not even know I said it. And the COO is like, what the hell did you just say? You said, what? Oh, yeah, one of them was, I told him I was hung up like two dogs in a park. And he's like, what did you just say? And I was like, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on this deal. He said, no, you said hung up like two dogs in a park. I was like, well, if you've ever seen it, they're stuck.
Oh, that's great.
And so I don't have control of those a lot, but
just don't have control.
For the most part, I think the worst of them are PG-13.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah. I've got a couple that you've said that are not PG-13.
Okay.
But
we won't say those on the podcast.
Not on the podcast.
We'll keep that pose up.
Yeah. So, man, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
I know this was a step of uncomfort for you, and you did phenomenal. It's been such a pleasure having you on. And I love having you on the board and all your involvement with True North. You are, like I said to start this podcast, like, I don't view you as an asset, but you are an incredible asset to this ministry and what God is doing through it. So thank you.
Thank you. Those are very kind words.